So just make you a bit of gymnastic right now. Who used Facebook in the room? Raise your hands. Okay, that's good. I did this like 2 weeks ago in Beijing, and I got almost nobody raising their hands. So actually, we're quite a lot using Facebook, probably close to 900 million right now. Who play games on Facebook? Okay, that's pretty good. Who actually develop games on Facebook? Not that many. Okay, that's interesting. What kind of, for example, what kind of games do you develop on Facebook?
We're doing social games. Fashion games.
Fashion, okay, cool. Who develop games on mobile? Raise your hands. Okay, so you over there, you develop games both on Facebook and mobile? Yeah. What kind of game is that? Puzzle game. Okay, cool. Any preference between iOS and Android, or you guys are developing for both? Developing both? Okay. And who thinks mobile is going to be bigger than social on the PC? Okay. Yeah. I was actually shocked yesterday by one of the debate on stage about is mobile like is PC dead, etc., etc. So we think both PC and mobile actually are big. Just about myself, so I'm the co-founder and CEO of Simune. I've been myself actually in Asia for over 7 years and doing internet and gaming company for the last 13. I'm from France originally, and I've been living and working in North Latin America in the last 7 years in Asia. And Simune is actually my fourth company. So Simune, what we do, we're actually a leading game development publisher for hardcore 3D social games, leveraging our platform for publishing, using Unity 3D for the front end and Simune platform for the back end. UberStrike, which is our flagship title, is the #1 first-person shooter on Facebook, as well as the largest Unity 3D game on Facebook. We recently announced about a week and a half ago funding from Niklas Zenström at Atomico. Niklas Zenström, for those who know, is the founder of Skype and is also the lead investor in Angry Birds. We're actually based in Beijing, and we're actually hiring if anybody in the room is interested. Let me show you about UberStrike. Played by more than 1 million players. Funny enough, this video has been made by one of our players. His name is Carlos. He's based in Canada. He's 17 years old. To give you some number about UberStrike, we've got over 5 million registered players, about 3+ million emails that we collect and exchange twice a week with our players. About 1 million plus active just on Facebook, and the game is available cross-platform, including on Apple Mac App Store, where UberStrike represent about 1% of all the download worldwide on the Mac App Store. Our investment thesis is like a first-person shooter is a top-grossing game on any platform. If you look at Activision, their flagship title is Call of Duty. It's about $1 billion sales in 2 weeks after launch last year. Nexon, which is one of the leading Korean developer and publisher, most of the revenue is actually coming from FPS. Tencent, for those who are familiar in China, which is like the largest game developer and publisher in China. About 90% of the revenue is coming from microtransaction, so from games basically. About 30% of the overall revenue is actually coming from one game, which is a free-to-play first-person shooter. Last year was about $1 billion sales through sales of weapons and armors and so on, just in China. The thing is, all these games that you've seen here are either available on console or either available through a client download, and not available yet through web, social, or mobile. And that's where we come into play. If you look specifically at China, where we're based, Crossfire, so the first-person shooter on Tencent, is about $1 billion revenue on a platform where you've got about 550 million monthly active, which is a Tencent platform. Facebook is about 850, 900 million users. If you look at the revenues that you make per user in China, it's about 7 times less than the revenue you make from a Western market. So we believe basically like first-person shooter on Facebook is just like a massive market, a massive opportunity. On top of that, Facebook has got something like quite wonderful right now that is not yet very much utilized, is mobile. They've got about 350 million monthly active on mobile. Most of the usage is already on mobile, and in the next 2 years I expect mobile to actually pass not only in usage but also in MAU PC. And what I call 100 billion reasons to be excited about mobile. If you look at platform like Facebook, it's all about mobile right now. Everything they're pushing is toward mobile. What we like at Simune, we like 3D. We've been actually the first developer in China and Korea to actually use Unity 3D. We like web games and social and mobile games. We also like the $1 billion market that FPS is for pretty much any console or any platform. Through our publishing platform, we also like the 1 million developers who themselves use Unity 3D. And we like very much the 850 million players that you've got on Facebook. Something that got announced also, for those who are familiar with Unity 3D, something that got announced about 3 weeks ago in China is Unity 3D is actually, I just announced a partnership with Qihoo 360 in China. And basically Qihoo 360 is going to distribute over 250 million Unity 3D web players in China, which means you're going to have 250 million players in China who are going to be able to play UberStrike without having to download anything directly from a web page. We also very much like Mac. As I said, we've got about 1% of all the download worldwide on the Mac App Store, and the conversion and ARPU is actually really high. Something we also very much believe is not only the power of social, but the power of cross-platform. Bringing your brands to a new platform and new device. We've got the example of another portfolio company of Atomico, which is Rovio and Angry Birds, who just passed a week and a half ago 1 billion download. A lot of them coming from Chrome App Store and a lot of different platforms, not only iOS. We also believe in free games, and we believe in the power of free. If you look at FPS on mobile, it's always been in the top grossing pretty much since launch. Right now you've got games like Kingdom of Camelot. Andrew yesterday from Caban was demonstrating on stage, who are among the top top growth application, top growth games. You've got other games from Gameloft, Nova 3, for example, which is currently like a top grossing with a premium model. We believe in freemium, so we believe that there is actually a big place for free-to-play FPS. And that's something I'm going to show you right now. That is actually not public yet, but you guys are going to be the first international crowd to actually see it outside of Beijing. We've been working for the last 6 months on porting UberStrike to tablet, including mobiles, include iOS, iPad, and Android. We're actually working with NVIDIA to port to Tegra 3 next-gen kind of tablet. And I'm going to show you right now. UberStrike played on iPad, played on Android Tegra device, as well as play from HD client, download from Mac App Store, as well as play from social, directly from a web page from Facebook. And everybody play together. So that's actually the first game worldwide that you can fully play cross-platform and cross-device. Show you. So currently, like as I said, like we're on Facebook. We're also working with Google to actually bring it to the Chrome App Store with actually a native client, Unity. We just launched with GameStop in USA on Congregate. We've got our own portal, so that's for the web and social. On client PC download, we've got Mac App Store, where I mentioned before. We're also going to launch on Steam. And as for mobile and tablets, it's fully like Android and iPad. All this on a worldwide basis, actually currently our presence in terms of infrastructure. Something actually I'm really excited about, and I wanted to announce on stage today, is just to give you some context about where the name Simune comes from. It's actually from a commune and community. So from the start of the company, it's all about participatory culture. It's not only about developing games, it's also about empowering our community to actually like make things together, make things better, and bring things to the next stage. If you're familiar with participatory culture, one professor from MIT that actually inspires us pretty much from the start of the company. It's about collective knowledge. It's about peer-to-peer learning. It's about like editorial feedback. It's about expression, and it's about making sure that a member feels that the contribution matters. So we're actually announcing today officially at Casual Connect the Blue Box project. Some of the maps that you've seen before, kind of a blue kind of texture like, actually map that have been made by our community, and that was kind of in a closed beta for the last few months. And we're actually officially launching today on stage at Casual Connect the Blue Box project, which means basically you're going to have map creators, gamers, and UberStrike fanatic who are going to have the opportunity through Unity 3D and UberStrike to rapidly prototype ideas and gain real-world user feedback from millions of users. If you look at specifically this map called UberStrike, In the last 30 days, this map has been played over 5 million times. So basically, not only players and map creators can create map, but they also got all the feedback from the community. And they keep iterating and improving based on the feedback you've got from players, statistics, etc. That's something we're really excited about. Like, if you look at the name UberStrike, there is a strike into it, and for a reason. The founder of Counter-Strike is actually a personal friend of us, and has been advising us from quite a while. If you look at Counter-Strike, for those who are familiar, which is probably the most played FPS ever, when they launched the project, there were 2 guys, so it was like very much the start of FPS at that time. Through these kind of initiatives, they were getting about 20 maps per day. So that was like massive. They were able, a lot of them were not very high quality, but per month they were able to have like 5 to 10 new maps who were actually quality maps that people will enjoy, that people will still enjoy, 5, 10 years later. That's something as a studio, even if you're Tencent and so on, you can't do. That you can do only if you leverage the power of your community. As a conclusion, I wanted to give my prediction about the future of social and mobile. We believe, and that's why we're here, that core gaming, including FPS, are going to be among top grossing for both web and social, as they are on any other platform. We also believe like immersive console-like games are going to rapidly grow on mobile. Specifically on tablets, where actually we expect probably one of the fastest growth right now, and represent a bigger market than the traditional console games. We also believe, and we already have example of our friends from Angry Birds, that game will be a fully cross-platform and allow a continuous and complementary experience between platform and device. In the case of UberStrike, you can start playing on Facebook in the morning, go to school or go to the office, play on your tablet. In the afternoon, you're at the office, maybe Facebook is blocked, you actually play directly from a UberStrike portal, and at night you play your Steam or Mac HD client version. All this, you've got always your friend with you, you always have your inventory, your score, etc., etc. We also believe, being here in Asia, that new leaders in the gaming industry will emerge from within Asia, particularly China. There is already a few examples, like the big one being Tencent, NetEase, etc. But also, if you look on Facebook, for example, right now, the leaders in Arabic countries on Facebook is actually a Chinese company based out of Beijing, and they pretty much own the Middle East. We're also developing and operating games is going to also be about empowering your community and developing tools for them to actually connect with each other, express, create, and learn and create together. So to summarize, core gaming will be top grossing on web and social. Immersive console-like games will have the fastest growth on mobile and tablet. Cross-platform and cross-device games will dominate. New leaders from Asia and particularly China will emerge and dominate worldwide. And game as a service will allow global community to connect, express, learn, and create together. Conclusion about the future and social and mobile games. Actually, we believe the best way to actually predict the future is actually to create it. Thank you. Cool. I think we have a bit of time for.
Yes, we have about 7 minutes for questions.
Okay.
Question for Ludovic?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, excuse me. Yeah. Good afternoon. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you introduce yourself? What's your name and?
Yeah. My name is Shu, and I'm from FunArt. We make Flash games.
Yep.
And yeah, my question is, there are lots of difference between FPS games and casual games. And what do you think is the most important thing to create a kind of FPS game community for users? Because we see a lot of casual games in these 2 days, but FPS game the first time, and I just want to know how do you create a kind of successful community and encourage users to come to play?
Yeah. One of the key is when I talk about participatory culture, it's really like something like we strongly believe in Simune. That's pretty much like the essence of the company from the start. And we make sure when we create the game that we always interact with our players. So whatever we do, we actually have player feedback even before we actually spec like new features. And when features are actually spec, like we always interact with them even before it's live. If you look at the Blue Box project, that's actually a very good example. We actually let the community like get together, self-organize themselves. We provide tools for that. Pretty much all the tools that our artists got to actually create levels, we're going to give that for free for everybody on the Unity App Store as well as on our own website. So which means like the tools we've got, we're giving away. It's almost like we're giving away basically for our community, and they can do everything we do back in our office in Beijing. And when a new map is created, we actually we have like a map committee, kind of think like a Jedi committee, and which include some of our guys, include our game director, level designers, etc., as well as players, as well as special guests who have been like doing maps for the last 20 years, for 10 years for FPS. And once the map passes a certain level, we have like a gameplay day. So for one day, your map is, even if it's not yet fully selected, your map is going to be available to millions of players on all the servers worldwide. So you're going to have guys from Japan, from like Singapore, from USA, from Canada, from Latin America, from Germany, Europe, etc., who are all going to be able to play your map and give you feedback directly through the chat if you're actually in game, or directly through the forum. And there is a lot of interaction. And we already see like a mentoring happening. So for example, you have like a more senior kind of level designer, like guys who's been working for Activision, EA, etc. And they actually enjoy coming at night and interacting with younger people and kind of mentor them, give them feedback on how to improve the map. And all this is like actually self-organized. And we find this like quite amazing actually. So really like putting the community together, giving them the tool to create an exchange together, create connection together. The video you just saw before, we don't make video ourselves anymore. Every time we make video, we look at the community, we just go on YouTube, and there is a video who are just much better than what we could do ourselves. Like our players are better than ourselves. Like they actually have more time to play the games, they have more time to make like cool videos. Like this player here is 17 years old, he just passed 18 years old, and we're actually talking to him to actually bring him to Beijing. So basically like it's something like, imagine like 10 years ago if you would have the opportunity to go and work for Valve for 6 months, except now it happens to be in China. Yeah.
Hi. You're talking about mobile.
Can you just introduce yourself?
Sorry, I'm Kai from Good Game Studios. We're doing web-based browser games.
Yeah.
If you talk about mobile, you just gave out a version for the tablet. What about mobile phone? Is that possible for such games like first-person shooters, or is it just impossible because the display is too small?
It's more than possible. If you look at Nova 3 from Gameloft, it's actually the #2 top-grossing games right now on iPhone, and it's #1 on iPad. So that's it's hundreds of thousands of dollars of revenue per day. So it's pretty significant. Yeah, it's already working on mobile. My feeling on that, especially for the kind of gameplay we've got, naturally the game on mobile is going to evolve. So typically you see like we actually let the community create map. You're going to have map who are going to be played mostly on PC, others are going to be played mostly on mobiles, just because it's kind of different experience. Even if we let players play with each other, in the sense that we give them access to the servers. Naturally, for matchmaking, we put tablet players with tablet players. We don't care if they are iPad or Android, etc. They play together. And then you have the option, if you want to actually join your friends who are on Facebook, HD client, etc., etc. But naturally, we'll put mobile players together. Yeah.
Hi, Veli-Pekka Piirainen from Finland. How many daily...
What do you do in Finland?
Game developer.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many daily active users you have now, and what is your ARPU?
We've got about 100 to 150,000 daily active users, depending on the day of the week, basically. And ARPU on Mac App Store, we're about $22 per day.
What about the app about daily active users?
What about what?
So the web players. So
We don't communicate it, but it's in the tens of cents, basically.
okay.
Yeah.
Another question about the Unity plugin. How many players skip the game because they have to download the plugin?
We've been working with Unity pretty much since the start of Unity. Like when we started working with them, there were like 5 guys and 2 interns. So it was like very, very much the start of Unity. And we're working very, very closely with them, including on the Unity install, because we're pretty much like the largest, not only the largest game on Facebook, but actually the largest browser-based game made with Unity, with Battlestar Galactica from Big Point. We have the best install rate, so if you guys want to see how we do, just go on Facebook or UberStrike or whatever. And we've got about 60% install rate, so which means you've got 40 to 50% basically people who will drop because of the plugin. To give you comparison, I think it's public information. EA Battlefield Hero, which is also like a browser-based game made by EA in Europe, actually. They've got about 90% dropout at plugin, so only 10% retention. So 50-60% is actually quite good already. It's not yet what we want it to be. We want 100%, and that's why we're working typically with Google. So Google has a native client for Chrome with Unity, which means you don't need to install any plugin. It's actually done directly through Chrome, and Chrome being the largest browser right now worldwide. It's already working for quite a few games on using Unity. It's been public, for quite a few months. It's not working yet for games who are more sophisticated, including if you're using multiplayer. And that's why we're working with the engineers, both in Mountain View, Google engineers, as well as Unity 3D in Copenhagen. So we're kind of working together on that. So everybody should benefit about it as soon as we make it work, basically.
I apologize. We're about 5 minutes over right now, so we need to move on to the next guest. But if you get you.
But we can. I'm happy to discuss here directly. Okay. Thanks a lot, everybody.
Right, thank you, Ludovic.